Hello storytellers and welcome. I am Lex Link of Lex Link Creative, writer and artist, and this is Creator's Cut, where I chronicle my continuing writing journey or creative journey. So today I'm going to be talking about my recent writers conference that I went to and kind of what I learned there and things that I hope can help you on your own creative journey. This is part one of a 3-part video, so I hope you'll enjoy all of them, and I will see you after the intro. So again, I'm Lex Link, and if you are new here, welcome. We're happy to have you. I'm happy to have you. I say we. It's a community here. But as I said in the introduction, this is the first part of my 3-part series that I'm doing on my recent writing conference that I went to. Kind of just talking about different things that I learned personally, as well as things that the group learned, and showcasing a little bit of my journey while I was there. This first video will be about the latter part of what I just said, just kind of showcasing the conference center and some of what I went through as I was there and just my random thoughts after classes. And this conference I went to the Blue Ridge Christian Writers Conference. Blue Ridge Mountain Christian Writers Conference. Oh my goodness, it's such a mouthful. Yes, BRMCWC. I started calling it BRMCWC just to kind of give name to the acronym. But yes, this is the conference that I went to, and it is in North Carolina in the United States. And I had a lot of fun. It was wonderful to be in the literal middle of the mountains, the Smoky Mountains, which definitely earned their name for sure. I loved getting up and looking out. We had a mountain like right across from us. I loved getting up and looking out at it, and when I could see it, when it wasn't covered in smoke. And it was really nice. This is the second Christian conference I had been to. I talked about one in prior videos. I think it was the second episode of Creator's Cut, which I keep referencing because that's kind of all about my story and my current project. But the previous one that I went to was fun, and so I decided to try this one out. I met some people there that I had met at the last conference, and it was just a good time. I've been to both Christian and non-Christian conferences, and I think they're definitely different in certain ways, but writers all deal with the same thing. So yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. I would recommend this one if you are looking for a Christian conference to go to. It is, I believe, in May again of next year. But anyways, on to the video, on to the fun. I will make a note. Please turn on your captions for this video, because I sadly forgot to bring my mic for a lot of this trek that I did. And so I was just going off the iPhone video or iPhone mic. And the wildlife was definitely loud, and I am not. So please turn on your captions. I apologize for the little bit weirdness in sound quality, and for anyone who cannot use the captions, again, I apologize for sound quality, and I hope you can understand me as I am talking through all of the chirping birds. So yeah, I love the birds. That was probably one of my favorite parts of the conference, I'll be honest. But you will get to hear them in the videos, in the videos, compressed video. So I hope you enjoy this first of my 3-part series on BRMCWC 2026, and I look forward to seeing you at the end of the video and in the next few videos. Enjoy! So I am here at Ridgecrest Conference Center for the 2026 Christian Writers Conference here. For the 2020... What is the name of this conference? Oh my, I'm already being forgetful. BRMCWC. That's what we're calling it. Yes, for this. I'm here for this. I'm here for this. So I'm just going to show a little bit of the campus. Oh, and apparently somebody's having a group meeting over there. Having fun, sounds like. But just going to show a little bit of what's going on here. Not all of it, just some of it. Kind of get a lay of the land. I came from one of the buildings back here that also has, I don't think you can see it super well, but also has conference rooms. And then there's this place that has touchless door thing here. Yay! Feels special. Special. Being invited in. Oh, somebody's playing music. There's several floors here. Somebody's playing Ghibli music. I love that. Or at least listening to it. I don't know if they're playing it. Let's find out. Oh, there's a piano. Somebody's playing the piano. I won't go down totally because I don't want to scare them or anything and be a weirdo, but I will go into this other little room so you can hear better because it sounds lovely. I'm just gonna stand here for a minute. So I'm back outside, heading down this way. I said hi to the piano player and he was lovely. We talked about how Ghibli music is so nostalgic sounding and calm, and it was Spirited Away, which is one of my favorite films. I watched, oh, fun fact, the first time I ever watched that film, shortly after it came out on home release, because, you know, I'm that old, which really isn't that old, but, you know, just gonna say it. The first time I ever watched that film, there's a car coming. Let's go this way. The first time I ever watched that film, I can get through this story. I actually watched it the first time, and then I watched it again, and then this car pulling up. Then I watched it again. I think I watched it like 3 or 4 times, back to back. That was my first ever Studio Ghibli film, Spirited Away. I loved it so much and thought it was so amazing that I legit just watched it over and over and over again. The first time I saw it. I think I was up until, I don't even know, late. Oh, nice rocking chairs over here. But yeah, I love the film. I love it. It's great. Such good storytelling. There's so many pretty plants around here. I'm sure I will be able to show you some more as I go through the week, but looks like there's a coffee shop and a nibble nook. Coffee shop is not open, but I will peer through the window. Probably can't, no one can see me, but oh, it's very cute. Can't really see in because, you know, windows, that's how they work, but anyway, had a nice rocking chairs over here. Just very cute space. Very cute space. Looking forward to it. So, going back up the stairs. Yep, stairs are going to be my friend, as are inclines. Other people over there, but we're just going to go up here. Up the lovely stairs. And yeah, all the pretty. Everything's so pretty here. I love it. So, yeah, looking forward to the conference. Also have to highlight this little area. I love rocks. I think there's a group of teenagers here too. But I love rocks, so this to me is just so pretty. So pretty. Hello everyone. So end of day 1 from BRMCWC. Quick. End of day on. This is not going to be a super long segment because I'm pretty tired, as expected. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little transparent for a minute and talk about this first day and just kind of what's been going on, and hopefully give you all some encouragement. Today was a little bit of a struggle. I'm gonna be honest. I was able to go and do some touristy things like this morning before check-in for said conference. So I will have some photos at the end of the video of showing that. So that was fun. That was fun. I enjoyed it. But when I got back, looking over like the conference schedule and kind of just walking around, talking to people and trying to exist in this new space because this is kind of a big place, I had for sure some overwhelm, kind of feeling like, I think most of the time when we go into anything as writers, especially like a conference, we have the tendency to think like, oh, it's going to be perfect, and you know, I'm going to enjoy this and this and this, and you know, I'm here for a specific purpose, which I do agree with, but I think sometimes we kind of build up an idea in our head that something's going to look a specific way, and then, of course you get there and it's not exactly like that, which nothing will ever totally fit your vision. I'm not saying it's been bad. But I had this today I've been struggling a bit because I had for months now been excited for this conference and thinking that, oh, okay, I feel like I really need to go and do this and, just enjoy myself. I feel like I'm really supposed to be here, or going there at the time, here now. But I felt like, I really need to go here and do this. Like, I felt like God was just like, here, go to this conference. This is a thing for you right now. And then when I got here, and met different people and looked at the schedule, and just things were not quite what I was thinking. Not necessarily in a bad way, just different. So for a little while, I kind of was in a negative space, thinking like, what am I even doing here? Why did I need to come here? The place is lovely. I've met nice people. There's a lot going on. The schedule got kind of mixed around a little bit, so things are a little bit different than I was, expecting. But I just felt this sense of overwhelm, which I think happens when you're on the right track. Everything in the world will try to be frustrating, to, throw you off, of course. But I definitely had to take a few minutes and go, okay, I might not understand why I'm here. And I'm sorry if the camera's a little shaky. I don't have my normal tripod. But I had to take a few minutes and go, okay, I don't know exactly why I'm here. Other than, I have classes that I want to go to, and people I'm here to meet, and critiques that were done the first chapter of my book that I've been working on for a while now. So excited about that, but just not quite what I was expecting. I think sometimes you go someplace and like you just immediately click with everyone, and it just seems surreal in its perfectness, so to speak. I've had that happen before, and so I think I was kind of thinking, oh, like this will be similar to that, and it wasn't initially. So I was feeling a little down about it, and just questioning like, okay, God, why'd you bring me here? Why am I here? Other than to meet some, people for critiques, which is great. I'm very grateful for that feedback, but it just didn't quite feel like I was thinking. And again, I think that's just opposition. Whenever you're on the right track, always opposition. But after a little while, I sat down and was telling myself, okay, yeah, again, you might not understand everything up front. You aren't always going to know why you're somewhere and why you need to be doing something, other than you just know that it's true. You know you need to be there, and you need to be in that space and meeting people and writing a certain book. We don't always know why at the beginning of the journey with, stark clarity. Most of the time we don't know why at the beginning of the journey with stark clarity. But things become apparent over time, and we can't just quit, automatically when things get a little tough or seem a little different than we thought. And I reminded myself of that and said, okay, well, things might not seem like you thought now, but I'm sure there is some reason that you need to be here, because, I prayed about it, I thought about it, and I'm here. I drove far, far away to get here. And actually after dinner, my mom is with me, so she's with me at this conference and doing writer things too, so that's exciting. But we were sitting in some rocking chairs, and just kind of taking in the scenery, because of course it's gorgeous here. But I look over and there's this giant rainbow in the sky. But it just kind of reminded me that everything has promise in it. And again, even though you might not understand why things are the way they are, there is promise there, if you're being led in a specific direction. So that I felt like was very encouraging. It was a beautiful rainbow. So thank you, God, for the beautiful rainbow. Totally stretched across the sky, just pretty awesome. And yeah, it reminded me that there is promise in everything, even when you can't see it, and even when you don't understand up front. And sometimes we just have to keep going through things and get to the other side to see the promise, whatever it ends up being. So I kept going through the night and meeting different people, and I listened to the keynote speaker, who was hilarious, so that was great. And met up with the people briefly that I did my critiques, so I'm going to be talking to, and that was great. So by the end of the night, I feel much better and more directed. And I still don't know what all will be going on in the next few days, but I have faith that it will be a wonderful thing, and I am looking forward to it. And yes, sometimes a lot of the time we just have to keep going, even if we feel a little bit in the dark at the time, because God's always giving us direction. And even though we don't know everything, the plan is already always laid out. And so we just have to keep walking, in it and seeing where it takes us. So I'm here at the coffee shop getting ready to work on the script. I love this place. Super cute. Super cute. So out here at night, hope y'all can see me. End of day 2. A lot going on. Too much to say right now, but things have definitely improved for sure. I just got through writing several pages of the script for my novel. Finally working on it. Just the push to, hey, just get it done. Gotta do the thing. That's been a lot of the last day. Just like whatever you feel like you're supposed to be writing, you need to just get out and write of it. You need to be obedient to that, I guess you could say. Definitely go with the idea, go with the creativity, just start working on the project. Don't be scared of it, yeah, don't be scared of it. If you're supposed to be writing something, then it needs to happen. So I think it's been a good push for everybody to kind of just get in there and start working. So to anyone who's kind of sitting on something, here's your call to start working on it. If it needs to happen, if it needs to be written. So have you ever had a time where you feel like particularly inspired but not inspired at the same time, or a little frustrated? Or I think sometimes we have hard decisions to make about our creative world and kind of where we're going and what we're doing, and who's going to get what I'm trying to do. I found myself thinking about that a lot this week. Who's going to get what I'm trying to do? And it's always not always, I should say, an easy thing, It's not always an easy question. Actually, I think it's one of the hardest questions, because sometimes it feels like nobody understands you. Or if they do, that maybe it's not something that's easy to hear. But I think it's good to take, advice and leading in direction. Oh goodness, probably like way too sunny right there. Ultimately, I think we have to remember that whatever it is we're meant to do, if we keep seeking God about it and keep, keep working, it usually becomes clear. Even if, sometimes in the moment, I should say, not in the minute, in the moment, it feels a little disparaging and like you're not entirely sure where the road is. But the road's always there. Sometimes you just can't see it. It's maybe a little misty, shrouded in mist. This is so cool. I don't know if you can see it super well. There is a bird by the coffee shop window on top of the speaker. A little nest. So cute. So, feeling a little better now after I've had some time to think about some things that I heard earlier, which I won't go into all of that in this video. I'll talk a little bit more about things next video, but when I kind of go into the conference. But yeah, just feeling better about some things. Oh, can you hear the birds? There's so many cool birds around here. But feeling better about some things, and just trying to kind of process where I want to go from here. Any writing conference, there's a lot of information, and a lot of feedback, and a lot of good stuff, but obviously it can be a little overwhelming. And often as writers and or people, we just tend to try and take a lot on ourselves when we don't necessarily need to. And sometimes you just have to take a step back and go, okay, well, maybe I need to take some extra time. Or maybe you don't. I feel like that's a kind of almost as important as maybe I need to take some extra time. Sometimes you just have to keep going and push forward, and then other times you just, you really do need to just take a minute, or maybe learn a little bit more, or study a little bit more, or practice a little bit more until you are comfortable with what you're doing and what you're learning, and kind of just where you're at. So, yeah. Spoiler alert. I've been kind of talking about some screenwriting because I had recently started working on the screenplay for this story. So just thinking about different things and a little bit about, just kind of where I'm at with that. I hadn't really been able to work on it as much as I was wanting to, and to be completely honest, I'm still kind of new at screenwriting. I'm still new. So, I had a conversation earlier a little bit about that and feeling a little bit better about direction on it and just kind of where I'm at, and thinking maybe I need a little more practice on that front before I can go forward. But that's not necessarily a bad thing. Still have a bunch of books to work on because that I am pretty practiced at and do not feel deficient in whatsoever. End of the almost last day of the conference, and I am very tired, but I hope you can't hear any of the ambient noise in here. But it's been good. I've learned a lot. I've met a lot of nice people. I'm so tired. I've worked through some things for the story, gotten some good feedback, direction on kind of how to just edit some things out, and yeah, I'm ready to get back to work, but not until I have a long nap. Okay, so I'm back. Slightly after I finished the last segment, I should say. The last segment, I'll call it that. But, alright, so I have a reminder for creatives and people in general out there. I think sometimes we assume things too quickly, especially when it comes to projects and what you're supposed to be doing, whether that's, writing related or in life. We make assumptions a little too quickly all of the time. We kind of have, existential, goodness, this is why I need sleep, existential crises so quickly. Something happens and we get overwhelmed by it, we get frustrated by it, and that's very human, of course. But I think we kind of tend to think the worst automatically, or think of something most frustrating automatically. I had a moment where somebody told me that they thought I needed to choose between one project and another project, and they're kind of connected, and but still it was one project or the other project. And it was honestly very good advice. I got where this person was coming from, but it threw me off a little bit, because my first instinct was to think, oh, well, if I have to choose between these two, then I can't do this, but I like this, but I feel like this needs to happen, and all these thoughts are going through my head at one time, of course, because I have to overthink everything. So it sent me into a little bit of a tailspin, and Kat knows that, because Kat got my very long phone call talking about all of the things, because now Kat's the one that I always call, and so thank you, Kat, again. So she talked me down a little bit, and she's like, I think it'll become apparent. Gotta let you know what you're supposed to be doing, and then it'll become apparent. Don't worry about it. But I get your frustration. It's good to have those friends. So I thought about it all last night. It probably kept me up, which is probably the reason why, part of the reason why I'm tired today, more so, and all the conference-y things, but, you know, just lack of sleep. But today I, thought about it after thinking about it today, I realized that, yes, this person had very good advice. It was accurate, it was true. What they said was definitely kind of what I needed to hear. It just wasn't what I was ready to hear immediately. I had to kind of let go of my, one, expectations for what I was currently doing and the way I was currently doing things, and two, my expectations of, what things should look like. And my expectations of how hard they have to be, because we like to make things hard when they really don't need to be hard most of the time. It doesn't need to be that complicated, guys. And that's something I have to learn to over and over again, or deal with over and over again. So yeah, I think we tend to just automatically freak out when our notions are challenged. Even if it's not a bad thing, it doesn't have to be like, a really, really strong belief that is held that is being challenged. It can just be something that, we think like, oh, I felt like I was supposed to do this. What do you mean? Maybe it's not time, or maybe I need more practice first, or maybe it's just not the way that it needs to happen. Not that it's not going to happen at all, but we human-wise, naturally kind of go for the worst case scenario sometimes. And as creatives, we probably do that just because we're used to writing big scenarios in our, in our books and movies and etc. It's always got to be some big challenge, huge thing. The world has to end, not literally, but, the world has to be in danger. So, yeah, we tend to blow things up. But I learned from this experience that, yeah, you can have those moments, of course, you're human. But then it's time to calm down a little bit and think and pray and be like, all right, so what can I use out of this? What was helpful out of this? What was useful? What is this person, especially if it's a person with your best interests at heart, who has lots of experience, what might they be saying that is true, that I just need to rewire my thinking a little bit? It doesn't have to be, the end of the world. It doesn't have to be the end of the world. It doesn't have to be everything's over, and I can't see way forward, and that's not what I wanted. It's sometimes there's good reasons for these things. It's a lot of times there's good reasons for these things. It's not always a bad thing. And change is good, and sometimes you just need a little bit of redirection, so we have to be open to that, especially when it's coming from a place and a person that, one, we trust, and two, has experience, and three, maybe just can see something that you can't because you're a little too close to the project. Okay, so I hope you can see me okay and hear me okay. I forgot my microphone, so that's where we're at. It's raining, or it's about to rain. Day after the conference. I'm a little sad. It's over. I had a lot of fun. Learned a lot. Met nice people, very nice people. I'm actually going to go see a few of my friends before they leave to go home. One last coffee shop visit. But no, it was a good conference. I think you never know quite what's going to happen when you go to a conference and who you're going to meet, and all the birds, and what things are going to be like. But I think it's nice to go and kind of put yourself out there and just see what you can learn, and be open to people. And there's been a lot of people who have been helpful answering questions I had, or just giving thoughts on different things. Oh, this bird is so cute. Hi. I wish I could show him to you. The bird would not let me film him. But he is adorable. I'm going to leave him alone because I don't want to make him nervous. But, yeah, it's also how much you can actually help other people by, giving advice or sharing things that you've learned. And sometimes I think it's great, God just sort of orchestrates everything to where it's like you needed to meet the right person at a certain time, and they needed, the thoughts that you had, and it can be really helpful to people. I wasn't necessarily, trying to, hey, here's all the stuff I know, but just meeting different people and hearing them and saying, hey, I know something about that. This is what I learned. This is what I experienced. And there's a lot of people who, told me over the last few days, oh, that's so great. I'm so glad you said that. That's exactly what I needed to hear. So always looking for how you can help fellow writers too, obviously without straining yourself. But yeah, gonna go meet my friends, and conference is over. A little sad, but still good things to come. So yes, hi, welcome back. Welcome back to not being at the conference. I really had a lot of fun with this video. I think I didn't get to capture as much as I would have liked, but conferences are so busy. I was rushing from place to place and trying to make meetings and figure out where I was going, because the conference center has a lot of rooms and a lot of space, and I was not used to being there, which I didn't feel too bad, because some people who had been for multiple times said that, oh, it took me like 5 times being here at this conference to figure out where I'm going. I don't think I will have to wait 5 times personally, but that's probably just because I ran around so much. But I did enjoy doing this video, and I learned some really interesting things at this conference, and just had a good time personally with my own work and meeting people and making friends. And so I hope you will enjoy the second part of this as well as the third. So in the next section, part 2 of this video series, I will be talking about the 2 main points that I gleaned from the group meetings at this conference, because there was keynotes in the morning, and then there was classes and meetups in the afternoon / later morning, and then there were keynotes at night. And so I didn't get to go to all of the keynotes, but I did enjoy them, the ones that I went to, and I definitely think there were 2 main points that were stressed throughout this conference for the writers there. 2 main points that were big learning points, big things that I think we all needed to take home and think over. So I'm going to be talking about those in the next episode. And then the third episode, I'm going to be talking about the main thing that I learned and gleaned from this conference personally in my own writing life. So I hope you look forward to that. Thank you for watching this video. Leave a like, subscribe if you have not yet for more crazy writing content. And I will see you in the next video with part 2 of BRMCWC 2026. Thank you again for watching. Bye!